Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Red Donkey Projections. My name is Lucas, and sadly Eric couldn't make it today, so I'll be going solo. This is our first video in a while. We'll start making more this week because we just started our winter break. So we're going to make more and more videos to make up for what we haven't made in the past few weeks because we have been busy. So today we'll be talking about a historic first for the state of California, the first Latino senator of the state, Alex Padilla. He is the current Secretary of State of California. He is a very experienced for this job, and we'll be digging into his background and also his views and how this might impact future elections and the government as a whole. And with that being said, let's get right into it. Let's first start here by discussing the background of this open seat right now. Kamala Harris was recently elected, along with Joe Biden, to the presidency and the vice presidency. As a result, since she was a sitting member of the Senate, she will be replaced. And the question was, after the election, who will Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, select to replace her? And there was a huge debate between who should replace Kamala Harris. And the two main sides of this were the Latinos and the African Americans. And what the African Americans were arguing was without Kamala Harris in the United States Senate, they're not going to get any representation because there's no African American woman in the Senate. And I can actually pull this up right now. This is from the Black Lives Matter page. They were very, very vehement in wanting to select a Black woman. And leading contenders, as it says here, are Representative Karen Bass from California, and Representative Barbara Lee. Karen Bass, if you remember her, we made a couple videos about her as well regarding Joe Biden's vice presidential pick. I think she was on the short list to be chosen. Ultimately, she was not chosen. She was passed over for Kamala Harris. But this was something that the Black community really, really wanted. They really wanted an African-American woman as their senator. Now, discussing Latinos in California. In California, I believe Latinos make up around 40% of California. California is a majority state. And I think part of the reason why Gavin Newsom ended up choosing Alex Padilla, I think actually a major one, is because he's a Latino. And California, despite Latinos making up this large of a population, has never had a Latino senator from there before. And at the end of the day, I think that the views between Mr. Padilla and some of the other contenders were pretty similar. At the end of the day, I think it did come down to whether they were a Latino or if they were an African American. So let's kind of discuss now the background of Alex Padilla. I'll show this Wikipedia page here right now. A little bit into his background, he is very, very experienced. He formerly was a member of the Los Angeles City Council, which, if you don't know, it's kind of like a legislature for a big city. New York City Council has one as well. He then rose up to become president of the Los Angeles City Council, then becoming a member of the state Senate, and then he became the Secretary of State of California, which is a pretty big position, and he is currently holding this office right now. And I do want to add one more thing. In the beginning, Alex Padilla was seen as the front runner, but at some points, Xavier Becerra, who is the current Attorney General of California, was also being considered. Ultimately, he was chosen to become Biden's Secretary of Health and Human Services. So that's why I think that the choices for Latino senators did ultimately narrow down to being Anthony Padilla. And yes, Secretary of State is a major role. And I think that's part of the reason why Newsom appointed him, because he has a very, very experienced background serving in legislatures. Now, let's discuss a bit about his views. Wikipedia didn't give that much about his views, only characterizing him as a moderate Democrat. But we can go to some other websites to kind of look at what he exactly believes in. Regarding the policy of Medicare for All, he apparently hasn't given a solid stance on what he believes in. He abstained in this California Universal Care Act vote. And I think that is very interesting that he isn't one of those more progressive Democrats wanting Medicare for All in. I want to assume that maybe he does want something like a public option through. But regardless, Medicare for All wouldn't pass under Biden administration anyway, as it says right here. He doesn't support it, and it doesn't look like there will be a majority in the Senate in order for this to pass anyway, especially considering there are a lot of moderate Democrats in the United States Senate right now. For example, Joe Manchin of West Virginia, Kirsten Sinema of Arizona, Angus King of Maine. And considering at best the Democrats can get 50 seats in the Senate right now, it doesn't even look very likely that even a public option can pass. So even though he doesn't believe in Medicare for all, it wasn't going to matter anyway, because Democrats do not look like they're going to be able to pass this through the United States Senate. Regarding the environment, it does look like he does have more progressive views on the environment. He has not taken a stance on the Green New Deal as it says right now. And again, the Green New Deal, it won't really matter because the Democrats won't be able to pass it through the Senate. Even if they get both Senate seats in Georgia, which I'll be discussing in a future video, which is Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock, even if they get both of them, which is still a pretty slim chance, you still have many moderate Democrats in the Senate that are not going to be supporting this Green New Deal. So again, Padilla's stance on the Green New Deal might not really matter, but he does seem to be more liberal on that topic. Now, I want to discuss kind of the impact of Padilla being chosen. And as I mentioned in the previous website, I don't think Padilla's nomination will have too much of an impact here, because I think that with the United States Senate right now, considering how polarized it is, he is going to tend to vote with the Democratic side anyway. He's not considered like a super moderate Democrat, such as like Joe Manchin, for example. And at the end of the day, Democrats are going to be able to pass a lot of the legislation that they wanted to get through passed, considering how much they underperformed in the Senate elections this year. Future elections with Alex Padilla, I again don't think that there's much of an impact. And we can look at California, and we discussed this in some of our videos because we were getting some comments with people thinking that California could go red. California is actually trending more and more to the left. So when Alex Padilla does take office and when he is up for a re-election, which I believe will be in 2022, it's not going to have much of an impact. If we look at this right now, Kamala Harris won over a Democrat by around, I want to say 20% there. And California does have the system where I think it's something about the top two finishers, and they go on. And usually the top two finishers have always been Democrats. So Alex Padilla's nomination to the United States Senate seat in California really won't matter too much. And if this had happened in a different state, like a battleground state such as Arizona or something, maybe it would have mattered a little bit more. But in the case of California, it really won't matter. And this is a shorter video for today. But thank you all so much for watching. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you like our content, please hit subscribe. We'll see you in our next episodes very soon. Stay tuned for new topics, including analyzing the 2020 presidential election, the Senate elections, the House elections, and making our predictions for the 2 Georgia runoff elections. With that being said, we'll see you in our next episode very soon. See ya!